probably very disappointed from us in some aspects of our first half performance. I thought with the way that Derby play, they're very expansive, but they leave spaces, and I thought we won possession at times really well in that first half and were wasteful with that next ball, and that's something that we'd spoke about. Of course, we concede the goal, and you always have to look at the goal that we concede. But a reaction second half, which means we have a group of players that are desperate to get back into this game. And I think overall, it's on probably, I would imagine, on all aspects of the game, shots and possession, it's probably a fair result.
I know managers tend to keep what happens in a dressing room in a dressing room, I understand that, but can you give us an idea of the mood at half time? Because from out here it looks, the difference in the halves, it looks as if you might have been blistering some paint on the walls, were you?
No, it's as manager there are different approaches at half time, and there are sometimes approaches where you have to give out what verbal volleys that you need to give out to players, but sometimes it's about putting them in their place of where they are and making sure that they start doing the things in the second half period that are going to get us back in the game and get us a result. There are two things. One's quality, and the other one is working hard enough. And if you have both of them, you always have a chance.
Because in that first half, it looked like one or two, you were missing out on the individual duels, which meant as a team you were behind by half time. Yeah, second half, different story.
Yeah, I think we're up against a team that they play a certain way, and they've been good in possession, a Derby team. And I thought we needed to be better in possession. You can't cover all bases on a football pitch, but certainly in the moments when we get the ball, we have good enough players and a good enough team that can keep possession and prod more than what we did. And I thought we were too wasteful, particularly with that final ball with the team that we've got. You then start looking at energy levels, and if you're not able to do that, you've got to be more competitive. And I think probably overall that's the changes that they had in that second half.
So in that second half, is that more like what you want to see from your side going forward for 90 minutes, never mind 45?
It is, but what I think I also have to be realistic about the games this season, and we've not been good enough overall to get them results. But there have been periods of play in all the games that we've played, Coventry game, especially the Bournemouth game, where we've been good on the ball, but that's the balance. In your good periods, if you don't score in them good periods, you're always going to look at the other side of the game, and what we've not been good enough, we've not been good enough at the 90 minutes that you need to put into a football match.
Yes, because I suppose the next thing on from that is to have more of those periods, more of those good periods in the game to give yourselves more chances.
Well, it's not always about having more than periods. It's capitalising on them periods, and when you have them periods, then that's when you've got to be getting your chances and your goals, and probably that's what we haven't been doing. We have had some good periods in games, but the end product, which is converting that into opportunities, chances and goals, we haven't done.
To that end, how relieved were you with 8 minutes to go when Brennan Johnson finally managed to crash that equaliser in?
I think when you finish the game that way, it always feels a little bit more like a win. And I'm very conscious it's not a win, but it feels more like, when you are the team that's coming back from being 1-0 down, that's how it feels at the end. But I think by the time we got to that stage, I thought we had deserved it. I think we'd had good possession in that second half. It wasn't a game of clear chances. Of course, Grabin has the chance, I think, just before that. It wasn't a game of clear chances for either side. But yeah, that's how it felt at the end. But I think we worked its second half performance that I think saw us deserve to get the point.
We talked before the game, Chris, about the pressure that's on you when you're a manager that has lost 4 games in a row. You've now got a point and a good second half performance to boot. Do you feel that eases the pressure, any pressure that might have been on you? Does that ease it a bit?
No, I don't think about I certainly don't think about the pressure on me. All I think about is trying the best I can to get results for this team, because the makeup of the team is different, and it has been. And we haven't had that consistency at what we would have liked to. So my only thoughts are doing the best for this team, and of course doing the best I can to try and get results for this club. It's a very uncomfortable position we are in the league table, even at this stage of the season. And it's not one that I like. All I can hope is that this can be a springboard for going into the next game, because every single game we play is a tough game. And when I look at the fixture list, there isn't a game I look at and think this is going to be a comfortable and easy one, particularly where we've been. So yes, I hope so.
You had Joe Worrell back today, and he's proved, isn't he, what a monumental player he has to have available to you.
Yeah, I think Joe's Joe. Is I think we know what he means to this football club. This is arguably a bigger game for him than any other players. Yatesy, of course, has come through the ranks as well, but if I'm looking for the amount of games that Joe's played at his age, so I know what he means. I know what he means to this team, and and that was part of the reason. And this was on any decision I make when Figueiredo I left out, and certainly it wasn't because he's been playing badly. That's for sure. It was just really to just get that little different dynamic on the game, and of course managing to get Joe back in.
We should ask you about Max Lowe as well, who of course you brought in yesterday, sat on the bench today. Too early to bring him in perhaps, and maybe the occasion, the surroundings as well?
Yes, I think probably more. He trained yesterday, so this is a player that has also had a fairly fluctuated pre-season, not being in the team at Sheffield, and so his minutes, although he has had minutes, certainly not the minutes that we would have liked. But I think if he'd been with us maybe at the beginning of the week, it might have been different. But to only come in yesterday and do a light session probably wasn't right.
What does he bring you, Chris?
First of all, he brings us an option at left back. That's the most important thing. He's a player that knows this division, had Premier League experience, of course, last season, but mostly he gives us an option and good competition in that position.
So you know the question that's coming now, because it's nearly Tuesday, it's nearly deadline day. How busy do you want to be over the next few days?
I want to be busy enough. That's I don't see us bringing in a lot of players in this short period of time, but I just hope that the club can bring in the sufficient amount that we need to have that type of competition and stability in this squad, for us to be able to move forward.
You still think you're a little bit short, because obviously we've spoken about it before. You've added Garner and Lowe this week, but still a bit short.
Yes, I do, and I think for what our intentions were as a club, yes, we are still short, and hence that's why the club will continue to work as hard as they can to make sure that we can supplement this squad and make it more competitive.